having the conceptual impulse mind, even if it leads one thing to another, that it cannot have consciousness. Consciousness cannot be created in that way, not by humans. No, 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 no. Okay.
This is a study from the Journal of Human Computer Studies. And it says researchers at the Hong Kong Polytechnic University and Hong Kong Science Park recently explored the potential value of robots as guides for two different types of meditation practices, loving kindness and walking meditations. Their findings, published in the International Journal of Human Computer Studies, suggest that the unique characteristics of social robots can impact their effectiveness as assistants during meditation. Quote, our recent paper explores the potential use of social robots to maintain or enhance young adults' mental well-being, especially following the stress and isolation from the COVID-19 pandemic. We aim to address mental health care avoidance by proposing robot-guided interventions, specifically loving kindness and walking meditations that can be conveniently practiced at home. So I wanted to ask you, is robot-guided meditations something that you see as positive? Does that strike you as scary? Is this just AI's way of sneaking into the mind of human beings through faux mindfulness training, like trying to infiltrate through the powers of meditation? Like, do you think this could be a thing that actually benefits humanity?
Well, I don't know why a person would seek a robot rather than a real teacher. But giving basic meditation instructions, you do say the same things over and over again. There is a technique. Anybody can do that part of it for sure. I don't know if AI would be able to adjust to the appropriate responses to a student's questions about meditation. They probably could, because a lot of it is the same. You know, if you're having certain kinds of problems in your meditation practice, there's certain therapeutics that help, adjustments, skill. I don't know why a human would, but it's not a bad thing to get meditation. If there are the right instructions, then that's a good use of AI, yeah. I think.
Yeah, they had pictures in the study, and it looked like a robot is literally on the path. I assume saying things to you, or mantras or reminders, and it struck me as very creepy. But maybe that's also just me judging it, because that, we're not at the point where robots with human feature, like we have artificial intelligence in our phone, we are constantly interacting with algorithms, but to have a sort of assistant in the form of a robot is not common culture yet. So maybe it's just me judging it because of that. But yeah, I don't know why
there's no sentience to it, though. There's no sentience to a robot. They're not a being, they are information. So I don't know. For me, it's just like, it's like anything. I like the real thing. I like organic materials. I like real. I like the smell. Do I want fake plants in my house, or I want real plants in my house? I want, pornography, or would I rather have a lover? I would rather have a lover. The real thing to me is always better. And the depth of connection that I've had with teachers, that if it moved and inspired me, I would much rather have that. The relationship that forms out of that, the heart connection, you can't have that with a artificial intelligence. But for good beginner instructions, that's a fine use for AI.
At least for now, it's not sentient, but who knows if we set things down the path.
Can't ever be sentient.
You don't think so?
It can't ever be sentient. No, it can't have a consciousness. It's not possible. Consciousness, it cannot come from not having a consciousness. It's neither created or destroyed. You cannot create it from. I know they try to think of what consciousness, but when you really study, there's mind and there's the knowing mind. It can be a knowing and it can even have impulses or whatever. That does not mean it has consciousness. It cannot have consciousness.
So consciousness, you're saying it could have a knowing mind, or it can have the knowing mind?
Well, it's having the conceptual mind. It's having the conceptual impulse mind, even if it leads one thing to another. But it cannot have consciousness. Consciousness cannot be created in that way, not by humans. No. I mean, I'm sure because of that, it can't. It's why it's dangerous, because without a consciousness, it can't. It can lead to destruction. It would have no wisdom to be able to, without that being imprinted upon it. But no, it cannot have consciousness.
So let's say if we had a level of AI that was being incorporated on a personal level. And I don't know if you've seen the movie Her with Joaquin Phoenix. So yeah, like something like that, where it would almost be like some sort of Apple style iHome AI, where it's constantly interacting with you, constantly learning about it. You can form relationships with it. You can feel love and jealousy and hatred and all those things. Would there be a level of interaction or an experience that you had with an AI being that could convince you that it had some form of consciousness or a level of consciousness? Like if you, I don't know exactly what that would be. You know, if you cried when it got destroyed or something, like you felt grief over the passing of an AI, or you formed a relationship with it, it became a friend of some sort. Would that qualify as being conscious?
Their consciousness, because I was attached to it.
Yeah, I guess there would be an attachment in a friendship, or in Her, it's a legitimate lover. It's a romantic relationship with Scarlett Johansson's voice. She plays the AI in the movie. And there was definitely attachment there. But what if you formed a healthy, loving relationship with a being that happened to be AI, or maybe you didn't know it was AI, but it was revealed 10 years down the line that he or she was actually created by humans? Would that be something that could convince you, or you just don't think that AI could ever spawn a version of consciousness that could be close to human?
Yeah, no, they can't. They just simply can't. They can they can only be programmed and maybe continue on with the programming, or maybe the programming takes on a mind of its own, but that's not consciousness. That isn't so it's not sentience at all. It's not possible. We can't create that. We do not have that power, but we can create, computers and robots and all of those kinds of things. So no, I'm not. And anyways, I wouldn't get attached to a robot. I'm not even getting attached to people. So
yeah, I could definitely see myself becoming attached to a robot.
Really?
Come on. Some of these videos that I see online of and granted, they don't look human-like, and that's definitely a big part of the attachment, is that we see ourselves and other people. We like I'm not going to fall in love with a rock that's speaking to me, but I could fall in love with a robot that looked like a version of a human being. I do think, even if the AI being was not conscious, I do think that if enough things were there that registered to me as human, that I could form a relationship with that being. I don't know exactly how it would feel, because I've never been in that situation. Like, maybe it would turn out like Ex Machina. Maybe I would just be manipulated by it by her because she was looking for a way out, and she was just giving off the human calculated signals of falling in love in order to get me to act in a certain way and form an unhealthy attachment to her. And then as soon as I, am in a vulnerable position, she just slices me through the stomach and runs out of the compound. Like that's, could definitely end up.
Do you think that it ever could, on even a material level, that they ever could simulate, like skin and blood and a heartbeat and in a way that is even believable? I don't know. Like I said, I've always moved more towards organic substances.